Well, hello everyone. I am just checking in to catch up with you guys. It's been a minute. Um, and I kind of just wanted to recap 2018 with you. This was a roller coaster year. I'm telling you guys, it was a roller coaster ride. Um, so I started the year out in Miami, as many of you remember. And I felt like I wasn't supposed to be there anymore. But I also didn't really know where I was supposed to go. And I really just kind of felt like a lot of the year, I kind of felt like my compass was off because usually I'm like forging ahead, like so driven, and I know exactly where I'm going. But this year, I just feel like I was sort of disoriented. And anyway, so I spent the first half of the year up until about June in Miami, which of course was beautiful and wonderful. And I did a lot of soul searching. But another thing that happened too is a lot of my business kind of fell through in 2018. And it was really disappointing. And I wasn't quite sure how I was supposed to register that, whether that was my fault or if it was just the market changing or what. But I kind of had to reconcile that happening. But anyway, I decided to move away from Miami, but first I took a trip to Sweden. And my initial intention was to spend most of the summer in Sweden and then to come back to Washington and find a place to live. That did not happen. I got to Sweden and I was only there for a week, but I was so um, just sleep deprived and I couldn't really catch my bearings to feel good or happy or like that was where I was supposed to be. And I cried a lot. Um, and I felt homesick. It was strange because I kind of felt like Dorothy. It was a really, really intense emotion time. I had so many emotions just flooding me. Plus, I was super sleep deprived. And I ended up just feeling like I was on the edge of insanity. Like I would either end up in the hospital or I needed to go home. It was that bad. And I don't know, a lot of you probably didn't know how bad it was at the time, but I was in crisis. For sure, I was in crisis. So I remember just hearing this whisper though at that time. It was like a voice that whispered and said, "You have free will and you can decide whatever you think is best. Do not feel obligated to stay if you're not feeling, if you want to move forward, do it. If you want to go home, book your flight home. It's your choice." And that was probably one of the most empowering moments I've had with my inner dialogue ever. And I know that that was God's whisper, just saying, like, you can make your choice here, and nobody is holding you to a certain choice or telling you that it's wrong. So just go for whatever you think is best. And I really think I learned a lot from that experience. So I did come home and I was pretty busted up for a good couple months. Honestly, I ended up getting really sick, really, really sick, like digestive issues, major migraines with vomiting, and um, a lot of that I think just had to do with the sheer exhaustion of where I was at. And I really was kind of worried, like, what did I do, and where am I going from here? And I wasn't sure if this illness was going to be long term or if I had really broken my life up. But I really experienced a lot of just kind of what you call maybe like a nervous breakdown or just a burnout. I burnt out. I burnt all up and all out. But I basically decided to take a sabbatical, which I am grateful I did. So I did some traveling in the fall, but since about September, I've been home. Um, I haven't traveled anywhere or gone anywhere. I've just been here with my parents in my original home that I grew up in. And I never thought that I would be okay with living at home again as a grown adult. Um, and, I turned 39 this year, and I just thought, like, why am I living at my parents' house as a 39-year-old? But I really needed to be nurtured. And if any of you guys know my parents, they are so good at that. My dad makes such good food, and they live off the land here. They have a little farm, and in the summer, they grow grapes and apples and plums, and they grow vegetables, and they harvest all those vegetables, and they can them and freeze them. And we eat that year round. And there's just something so romantic about having great vines everywhere and these blossoming, fruit trees, and then in the winter they feed the birds on their back porch. And so every morning I drink my coffee and I watch all these cute birds just flying in and eating their food. And it's just been nice to be somewhere rural and not. I've lived in the metropolitan life for, like, most of my adult life. So it's really just been so restorative. And I would say about a few weeks ago, I really started feeling myself again. And that's really exciting. And I just feel like um, I feel so whole again and ready to get back out there and just take on the world and grow my business. So I am happy to announce that my sponsor, Gatorland, has re signed for another year. So we're going to be out there doing some things together in the world this year. And I am taking some adaptive trips. The first one is going to be adaptive downhill skiing with one of the participants with Making Dreams Come True in February. So that's coming right around the corner. And February 1st, I'm moving into an apartment that I found in the Olympia area. It's really cute, with hardwood floors and 100 or 1,000 square feet. So I just feel like 2019 is going to be great. A lot more space, a lot more potential. And that is what I feel like the word for 2019 is potential. So yeah, anyway, guys, it's been so great to catch up. Happy New Year to you. And I just hope that you reach the potential for everything you're dreaming for 2019. Happy New Year.